Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Nice to see you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Good evening, teacher.
Good evening, sir. Welcome. A pleasure to see you again. Okay, dears, I'm gonna start because you're being punctual, so thanks for being on time. We're gonna start the class. I hope that you had a good weekend, a great weekend. Okay, well, today we're gonna start week 3, unit 3. Okay, so on Friday, basically, I was working in the extra material of interchange book. I was working with that book that is a complement, is extra. So I didn't start unit 3. And since some of your classmates who attended class have doubts about the previous topics, well, I could explain them, okay, those personal doubts that they had. Okay, so I think it was good for them. So that is why I didn't start unit 3 on Friday. Okay, so today we're gonna start the new unit together. And well, we're gonna start with your book, with your handbook. It's a first book, and it's customer service. Let's see what we have related with customer service. Do you work in this area? Do you work in customer service? Are you connected with customer service? I mean, your job, your company, or your job, is it related with customer service? Or no?
A little teacher.
A little, just a little.
Yes.
Okay, well, at least, right? But maybe Sunday. Thanks for answering, Mr. Fuentes. Okay, at least a little. But if no, you're not connected with customer service, who knows, right? Maybe Sunday you will have the opportunity. You all, right? Maybe. We all. Maybe Sunday. We don't know. Okay, so here we have a couple of things related with customer service. Okay, so I'm gonna read this vocabulary, and then you're gonna try to identify if it is a customer activities or if it is the company's representative activity. Okay, the first we have pick up the phone, pick up. Remember, this is a phrasal verb. And what is a phrasal verb? Can you help me to tell me what is a phrasal verb? Do you remember? No? Mr. Baisa? Mr. Fuentes?
No, teacher.
No. No, you neither, Mr. Baisa. Okay. Well, a phrasal verb is just a new verb that comes from the combination of a basic verb, this is the verb, right? And a preposition or an adverb. So we have many phrasal verbs. If you have For example, carry, carry on, carry out. Okay, make, make up, come back, come out, come down. Okay, so those are the phrasal verbs. When you have one original verb, but you add one word, and it becomes a new verb. Okay, it becomes a new verb. And we have a different meaning. For example, take. That is very common, right? Take. But we have a phrasal verb when we say take out. Okay, take out. Take is just like this, right? Take in your hands. But take out es como llevar, sacar. No solo es ya tomar. Okay? So because we added out to the verb, to the original verb. Another example, make. You know the meaning of make, right? Hacer o crear. Hacer, but it's supposed to be creativamente, right? In a creative way. But if you said makeup, you see, here, this is a phrasal verb because you added this part, not just make. So makeup can be inventar, can be maquillarse, or can be decidirse. Like when you say, make up your mind. Okay, so you see in this case, three different possibilities. But make individually is hacer. But if you add this part, it's something else, right? And most of the time, we don't keep the same, okay? No mantenemos el significado original, tomar afuera, hacer arriba, no, right? We don't, when we add this part, it's a new meaning. Most of the time, las dos se me hacen un solo verbo, a new verb. Okay, a new verb. So when you see this combination of a verb and another word, remember that they are phrasal verbs. So it means that is a new verb. New verb. And probably no with the same meaning. ¿Por qué digo probably? Porque hay unos que se pueden, tomar como. Ok, come es venir, right? Come back. En realidad es, what?
Regresar.
Regresar. But that's the meaning together, right? Come, venir, come back, regresar. Pero este es uno de los poquitos que maybe, podría tener sentido si digo venir de vuelta, venir de nuevo. O give es dar. ¿Qué vendría siendo give back? Devolver. Pero estos dos en realidad se me hace devolver. Right? Podría tener sentido también si yo digo dar de nuevo. Makes sense, right? It makes sense. But just maybe the ones that make sense is not what corresponds, but makes sense if we make the translation one by one, individually. Those phrasal verbs that are let's say made are made of one verb and back. ¿Ok? Esos que tienen back son los que sí make sense, tienen sentido, aunque no corresponde traducir uno por uno, pero tiene sentido, at least, right? It makes sense. But what corresponds in the real translation is that give back, devolver, come back, regresar. No venir de nuevo ni dar de vuelta o dar de nuevo. So this is an example that sometimes it's possible that we understand one by one, but it's not what corresponds, you know, because most of the time, I would say that 90 and something %, it won't make sense. Tomar afuera, hacer arriba, no. It's not connected, right, with maquillarse, con decidirse, con inventar. It's not related, right? Hacer arriba. Make no sense. So most of the phrasal verbs don't, those are the phrasal verbs. And don't make the translation, please, one by one. Okay? Don't make the translation the first and the second. No. We need to know the meaning or look up for the meaning and understand as a new verb, a new word. Okay? No one by one. That's a recommendation. Because sometimes, let me tell you something else that is interesting about these phrasal verbs. When you have the verb and the other word that is most of the time a preposition, and you have the new verb, it's possible that we use in the middle this. Pick the phone up or pick up the phone. Or you say another phrasal verb, very famous, is wake up. This is a phrasal verb because you have one verb with a preposition. So wake up. So you can say, wake up me. Or you can say, wake me up. That is the most common. This is not just with the phone, you know. Pick me up, please. In the office at 4. Pick me up or pick up me. So you can use in the middle. Pick her up. Pásela trayendo. Pick her up or pick up her. Okay, this is one characteristic of the phrasal verbs that you can use in the middle. It's like you can open, you can separate the phrasal verb. Like here, you can have wake and you separate up because you can use in the middle. Someone or something that is related. Wake me up, or wake up me. But let me tell you that it's very used, and the most common is to use in the middle. Pick up the phone or pick the phone up. Pick the phone up. So I'm telling you this because sometimes some people, when you are reading and you are making even a translation or trying to understand, people separate. Si lo encuentran en el medio y no reconocen qué son y cómo funcionan los phrasal verbs, muchos lo que hacen al inicio, you know, es buscar individualmente, wake me up. Ah, pero así no tiene sentido, dicen. ¿Ok? O pick the phone up. Traer el teléfono arriba. Makes sense. Okay, and some others that some people get confused with this porque lo tratan de ver así uno por uno la parte separado. And no, right? Si usted ve esta phrasal verbs que algo en el medio, ve un verbo y en medio algo y después ve una preposition, es un phrasal verb, entonces va juntito. Voy a buscar wake up. No por partes. Okay, so that this is a recommendation because it's very common to find these kind of verbs that are called phrasal verbs. Okay, there is a unit in the next levels in which you will study a little bit more with more detailed phrasal verbs. Okay, I don't remember in what level, what unit, but there is one. Okay, so but now you have the idea. And remember that this is a phrasal verb and the way that you can use them and the way that we have to understand phrasal verbs. To make one. To make one. A new verb. Okay, it's not individually. Don't separate them, I mean, in the meaning. But you can put in the middle the person or the thing. Okay? Okay, well, that's what we have with pick up the phone. And something else with pick up the phone. This is the most common way, you know, to say I will answer the phone. But the most it sounds more natural to say, okay, I'll pick up the phone. Don't worry. This is very common to say, pick up the phone. Maybe it sounds, if you have a literal translation, it will sound a little bit strange for you, right? Recoger, no, but it's not. Yeah, contesto, pick up the phone, please. Or you can say someone, can you pick up the phone, please? Or can you pick the phone up? Okay, so it's equivalent to say, can you answer the phone? And it's very, very common to use it with this phrasal verb, pick up the phone. And you can say pick up a person too, not just a thing. Okay, not just thing. You can say pick me up, pick her up. What time can you pick them up? Okay, ¿a qué horas puede? What time can you pick up the children? Or will you pick up the children? Will you pick the children up? Okay, it's not just for phone calls. It can be too for people, you know. And that's the idea. So it has different meanings and different uses. Okay. Well, pick up the phone, help. Well, number 2, understand. Remember that is understand, explain, complain, help, request information, get prices, provide one's information, assist, buy, call, and receive. Okay, once more. Pick up the phone, understand, explain, complain, look at the end. Aim. Remember that is the same information. It's the same information. I mean, the same pronunciation, excuse me, it's the same pronunciation. Most of the time, we can follow a pattern, you know, in pronunciation. Okay, so observe the language. ¿Cómo se pronuncia este? Y veo otra igual y otra igual. Most of the time, we have a coincidence. You see? Aquella vez vimos una palabra y la pronunciamos aim. So maybe this one sounds good, right? Okay, I knew explain. Pero yo observo that the combination was AI and the pronunciation was aim. So now I see something similar. So maybe the most, let's say, for sure, I can remember that may be similar. So complain. You see? So I recommend you that observe what you read, what you listen. Okay, any question?
No, teacher.
Okay. Well, if no questions, this is the vocabulary. that we have. So anybody who wants to pronounce, I will do it once, and maybe you can do it as faster as you can, okay? As fast, excuse me, as you can. So pick up the phone, understand, explain, complain, help, request information, get prices, provide wants information, assist, buy, call, and receive. Anybody who wants to pronounce it? I mean, the vocabulary?
Me, teacher.
Excellent. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Pick up the phone, understand, explain, complain, help, request information, get prices, provide wants information, assist, buy, call, receive.
Okay, very good. Excellent. Okay, excellent. Okay, anybody else? Nobody else? Nobody else. Okay, so now let's do the exercise. If you don't want to practice or to pronounce, or maybe write this, you can do this part, okay? I'm gonna share it in the group. So you know, the idea is to solve what is a customer activity and what is a company's representative activity. Because we have two groups, right? The ones who work in the company and the customers. So what activities are of the customer and what activities are of the company's representative? Okay, let's try to recognize in this vocabulary when to use it. I'm gonna give you 5 minutes, maybe. Let me send it to the group so you can work. Five minutes. Let's try to do it. If you have a doubt, we'll solve it together. Okay, if it is possible for you, send it to the group when you solve it, if it is possible. If it is not possible, well, maybe you just can tell me. I think customers' activities are this, and this, etc. Okay, so if it is possible for you, send it. Send what you decide, please.
Hola, hermana Verónica, ¿qué tal? ¿Qué tal mi corazón? Ayer ya no le pude...
Okay, one more minute. Okay, nobody sent it, but maybe we can solve it together. Okay, maybe you can help me. Let's start by the first, right? What is the customer's activities? What do you have for customers' activities? If you don't
Understand,
know, excuse me?
understand, number 2.
Understand. Well, I'm
Help.
not help. Customers is the client, similar to client. So customers don't help. Is the company's representative. You know, like the receptionist, like the seller, like the manager. They supposed to solve, right? Have you ever heard that famous phrase? El cliente siempre tiene la razón. Have you ever heard that? Yeah, I'm sure that you have heard that, right? El cliente siempre tiene la razón. So I don't think that the customer understand. You see? Maybe. Do you know the meaning of complain? Complain?
Yes. Complaint.
Excuse me, Mr. Baisa? Complain is what? What is the meaning? Well, I didn't listen. You're mute. Okay, remember that complain is quejarse, right? So I think that most of the time, sadly, for those who work in customer service, complain is one of the most common situations, right? Complain, customers. I don't think that customers most of the time understand. You know, it's not like they supposed to do. That's what I said that. So maybe you believe me, right? Because remember that phrase. El cliente siempre tiene la razón. So they are not in the position to understand. Es que así es y así lo quiero y esto fue y no me gustó y etcétera. People complain, customers complain because they're supposed to be paying for the service. And it doesn't matter how much, right? Sometimes it's not a lot, but I'm paying for this. Some people, have you ever seen, or are you that kind of customer? Do you think? Have you ever said that? ¿Alguna vez ha dicho eso? I'm paying. I'm paying for this service. I'm paying for that product. Are you that kind of customer? Meister Baisa, are you that kind of customer who said, I'm paying for that? No? ¿Alguna vez ha dicho eso, Mr. Raisa? I'm paying for that product. I'm paying for this service. So give me the best. Or something similar? Are you that kind of customer? Yes, Mr. Raisa, or no? And Mr. Fuentes?
Yes, I did say.
Yeah, really? Oh my goodness. So you're a hard man. Okay, well. Yeah, sometimes we do that, right? But sometimes I think, well, it's not fair. Sometimes, sometimes because people, it's not because they don't want. It's because they didn't decide it, or maybe they couldn't do it, And sometimes we complain or we want. And sometimes in my case, I said that, but sometimes I said, when after a while or when I arrived home, I said, well, that's not what I did. That's not what I said, But some people is like that, right? I always have the reason and I'm paying. Okay. So I don't care what's going on, but I want for the product that I'm paying or for the service that I'm paying. Okay. So that's the point, right? Most of customers, maybe including us, complain. Nos quejamos. Yeah. We don't understand. I think that exist some people who understand, right? Yes. Tell me. ¿Alguien dijo, quería decir algo? No? Okay. So complain. I hope that you agree, okay? You agree. Espero que ahora sí los haya convencido, okay? Y están de acuerdo that customers complain, no understand. Therefore, company service supposed to understand. They have to understand customers. No matter what. Okay, what is? Customers, another activity that customers do?
Line.
Request information.
Request information, yes. They request, right? Oh, well. It depends, Yeah, I understand. But I think in this moment, they request information, but most of the time are the companies. I mean, it depends on the side that we see it. Depende de cómo lo veamos. And I'm going to explain you. Because the ones who ask for your address, for your ID number, are the companies, right? When we register, when we want to buy, or when we want a credit. So they are the ones who request information. But if we are talking about the other part, that is, I need information, it makes sense too. So don't forget, maybe I think that customers and companies representative request information. Different kind of information. Uno quiere información de los productos. I'm sure that that's what Mr. Fuentes maybe thought, right? A eso se refería. The information about the product, prices, etc., right? The way that they work. Okay? But if we notice in other things, en otro sentido, the companies are the ones who request our information. Dirección, números telefónicos, número de DUI, número de, I don't know, right? maybe recommendations, even recommendations. So I would say that both, depending on the kind of request. Okay, depending of the kind of request. Because I understand Mr. Fuentes' idea, but I would do it in both. Okay, so what else? So we have here pick up. And what about pick up the phone?
Pick up the phone is for companies representative.
Okay, yeah, totally agree, right? The first that we agree totally. Okay, so pick up the phone. Correct. Understand. Explain.
Explain companies representative.
Yeah, definitely right. Customers never explain. Okay. Help.
Assist.
Company's assistant or representative.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Explain, yeah, because get prices.
Customer.
Customers, right? In that case, yes, they are the one, definitely. We look for prices, get prices. Provide one's information.
Customer.
Okay, and you see, there is maybe one more, let's say, reason why maybe they are looking the way that I mentioned, because one request and the other provide. Y la compañía definitivamente no nos va a dar información así de sus detalles, right? Administrativos o de fondo. So that's what I think that it would be request information, just company's representative. Why? Makes sense, right? También los clientes los solicitan. But in this case, I think that they are talking about that kind of personal information, about accountants, maybe bank accountant, etc. Okay, then continue. We have assist.
Company's representative.
Yeah, we have to assist, or people have to assist. And buy, easy, right? Call. What about this one? Who are the ones who call?
Both.
Okay, both. Yeah, can be. Yeah, makes sense. Like the other, right? Request information, both. But in this case, I think that if company's representative pick up the phone, therefore, customers call. But makes sense, right? Both. But in this case, according to the other part of the answer, we can say that they call. Customers doing that connection, okay? And finally, receive. This is a good one. To doubt. What do you think? Customers or company's representative? Receive.
Customer.
Customer, right? It's a little bit difficult, maybe, because they don't they are not specific, receive what, right? But make sense, customers. Okay, and those are the activities according to the vocabulary that we can understand what are customers' activities and what are companies' representatives' activities. Okay, based on those activities, those situations, in the office, maybe it's not specific that you are working on sales, not necessarily, but maybe not in this job, but at a previous job, when you have you ever have to be in contact with customers? Have you ever? Maybe no in this moment, right? In this job, in your nowadays, but in previous jobs or in this job, have you ever had to answer customers' calls or customers' complaints? Have you ever been in that situation? Or you're so lucky that never?
Never, teacher.
Never, really? Well, you're a lucky man. Okay. Well, because most of the time, it doesn't matter why, but I think that all of us, you know, even I in education, they are no direct customers, but the students make the let's say that can represent, okay? It's in an indirect way. Even children, adults, okay? And sometimes people can complain, right? Sometimes people can complain. Algunos dicen, es que mucho explica lo mismo. Y otros pueden decir, es que no explicó. Es que rapidito no pasó y no entendí. Pero otros pueden decir, es que ya oí 3 veces lo mismo. So those are complaints, you know, and sometimes it's hard as a teacher because for me, everybody is important. Everybody, each of you, one by one is important for me. So if you have a doubt, for me, it's important to answer, you know. Es que eso ya lo vi, Patricia. Ya eso ya lo vimos, Patricia. Ya pasó, ya no me pregunte de eso. It would, no, right? It would be hard for me to say that. Oh, no, Mr. Fuentes, eso fue ayer. Ok, eso fue ayer, así es que ya pasamos a otra cosa. Ahí busqué unos videos. No, right? And at least in my case, maybe it was corresponds, right? Porque ya lo vimos ayer y ya pasó, etc. But for me, I don't feel good as a teacher, you know, as an educator. I try that each student understand as much as possible. If I can do it, I mean, if I can help, great. That's why sometimes I repeat. I feel good doing that. But some people can complain, some students that represent customers can complain. Ay, otra vez explicó la teacher, eso ya lo había explicado. Yeah, but your classmate needs. Maybe tomorrow you will have that need too, right? Hoy por ti, mañana por mí, dice el dicho. Hoy le expliqué a Miss Rodríguez y Mr. Fuentes se enojó. Pero ¿y qué tal si mañana Mr. Fuentes necesita que se perdió la clase y algo no entendió? Okay, so that's why I think it's important, everybody, right? And we have to understand. But some students that are equivalent to customers don't understand, you know. They don't understand. And sometimes I have had students that complain for that reason. O cuando ya no expliqué, por ejemplo, algo de classroom, es que yo no sabía, ya no me dijeron nada. Okay, so it's difficult, right? Because if we repeat the information, it's not good. But if we don't repeat it, aunque ya la hayamos dicho, yo no llegué ese día, ya no la repitieron, O yo no llegué 2 días que la repitieron, yo llegué el tercero y no me di cuenta. So anyway, maybe people complain. You see? Even in education, it happens. So that's what I'm giving you this example. So maybe you can do that connection. Not necessarily that I'm selling something, you know, but they are equivalent to customers. So maybe you can do that connection and tell me a little bit about you at work. Like me, right? I know sales. Okay, I know a seller, but we have always that connection similar to a customer. An indirect, maybe like me. That's what I gave you the example, right? And in an indirect way. But maybe we have that situation, those complaints. Maybe a secretary, pero es que yo no trato con la gente, solo con mi jefe. Yeah, but it's somehow, right? Somehow, or with the people in the office, or an architect, or an engineer. I don't know. If you do programs, computer programs, es que después que lo hago, mis compañeros dicen que no funciona porque está muy rebuscado, pero si lo hago sencillo, dicen de que eso hasta ellos lo hubieran podido hacer. Okay, so anyway, people complain, right? So I don't know if in that case, have you ever been in that situation that people around you complain? Like me, right? Students are not really customers, but they are similar in this case. Nobody around you complains in the office about something that you do or your group, your team do, or your team does in this case? No?
Teacher, in my job,
Yeah? Miss Amaya? Nice to see you. Welcome. Tell me.
in my job, receive
Receive
very complaint.
a lot of, or many.
lot.
A lot of, you can say a lot of, or you
Mu-
can say many.
A lot sería
Let me-
mucho.
Yeah, it's similar. It's
A
an
lot.
informal way to say many. Let me write it for you here, Patricia. Look, a lot of. A lot of.
Of.
Or
Okay.
that is similar to many. It's the same. It's equivalent. You can say a lot of or many. Whatever you want. El que más le guste.
Okay. A lot of
A lot of
complaints. A lot of
complaints.
complaints.
Okay.
Because
Are you in
customer
customer service? Are you in customer service? Directly or indirectly?
indirect.
Okay, tell me more.
Because a customer call customer.
All customers?
Why is quejas, ¿cómo sería?
Complaints. This
Complaint.
the first.
Mhm.
Is the verb, Patricia, complain is the verb and is the noun. Okay, customer complain or they have complaints. It's similar.
Okay.
Is the verb and is the noun at the same time. A la vez.
Ay, ¿cómo le diré? Espere.
Customers complain every day.
Every day. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Mhm.
But, by call or in
Yes.
person?
Call.
Calls.
Call.
Do you receive the calls, Patricia?
No.
No.
No. My sheet es jefe, ¿verdad?
Boss. Yeah, you can say shift too, but it's better boss in that case. My boss.
My boss receive
Receive.
For
Receive.
receive for email.
Ah, by emails.
Yes.
Okay. Receive. Remember the pronunciation. Here the last. Receive. We don't pronounce the E. Okay.
Receive.
Yeah, excellent. So actually, Patricia, de hecho, remember this, please. Most of the time in English, when you have E at the end, you don't pronounce it, okay? Remember always that. Cuando tiene una E al final en inglés, no la pronuncia when it's the last letter. Let me give you more examples, like make is at the end, right? We don't pronounce.
Make.
Like another can be promise. We don't pronounce the S, the E. Make, promise, receive, use. We don't pronounce the E, etc. Explain. There we have another. Explain. No, in that case, no, right? No, in that case, it doesn't have a, forget it, okay. Just the past. Okay, but those, yes. When you have the E at the end, don't pronounce the E. Okay, don't pronounce the E. Okay. Okay, so it's hard for your boss, Patricia, I guess. It's hard. And you're lucky that you don't receive those emails or calls. Okay, but well, it might be hard that your work is just to receive complaints. Remember, Patricia, complaints.
Complaint.
Yeah, complaints. Okay, thanks for sharing the experience in your company, Patricia. Okay, don't forget this vocabulary, okay? Complain, the verb and the noun. Quejarse y quejas, both, complain. Receive, don't pronounce the E at the end. Ni aquí ni en ningún verbo que lleve la E al final, we don't pronounce. Don't say receive, provide, no. Okay, provide. Aquí tenemos otra, look, provide.
Provide.
Yeah, we don't pronounce the E. Nos quedamos hasta las consonantes. In this case, provide with D, received with V, make with K. We stop the pronunciation in the consonant, okay? We omit the E at the end. La E al final en inglés es muda, como la H al inicio en español. Another famous, so you won't forget it, give. You see, give. Nunca decimos give, right? We eliminate the E. So remember that, Patricia. Okay? Give. Y los otros son iguales. Okay, so that is the vocabulary. I hope that you see it's important, even though we are not connected directly with customer service, but I think it's good to know. Maybe because we are customers, not just because we are company's representative, right? But it's good to get familiar with this kind of verbs and vocabulary. Okay, so let's continue. I already did for you. What do customers call for? Okay, not in your office, but in general. What are the most common reasons that you consider that customers call? Why? Why do customers call most of the time? Why?
To buy something.
Okay, to buy something. Okay, Ms. Rodriguez, welcome.
Hi.
Okay. Yeah, to buy something. That's correct. What else? So in that case would be to request information, right? In that sense, what Mr. Fuentes, you were saying, Mr. Fuentes, in that case makes sense. That's what Mr. Fuentes was thinking, right? Request information. Okay, what else? What is another common reason for customers to call? In your case, Patricia, you said when you participated, you tell us that answer, that question. You answer that question. According to your answer, why customers do that connection, right? It's the same reason in your company. What do customers call most of the time? Why?
Ay. No sé cómo me pronuncia, insatisfecho del producto.
Unsatisfaction. So what is the vocabulary that represent that, Patricia? Look.
Complain.
Complaints, correct. To complain, right? Because it's the verb. It's very common that customers call to complain, sadly. No, maybe no, it's not most of the time to say, okay, thanks, I appreciate that what you did. Okay, good job. Sadly, no, right? Okay, those are the most common. Okay, that it was for the vocabulary. So remember, we learned, right, a couple of things about phrasal verbs here. Remember, what are the phrasal verbs? I explained how to use it because here we have a phrasal verb, pick up. So it's a phrasal verb and explain a little bit about that phrasal verbs. And then about the pronunciation, right? We never pronounce the E at the end of the verbs. And of course, vocabulary. Okay, complaint, for example, maybe was a good one. Okay, so it was just the vocabulary. Now let's start with the first. You know, this is a piece of cake for you. As I told you, most of the units are easy, okay, are very friendly. What you have to take advantage, and most of you, is to practice, to keep in touch with the language, to speak, to listen, to speak in English, for you to do it, for you to speak in English, because maybe the verbs are not new for you, for some of you, I think, because they are not complicated, honestly. But if they are new for you, excellent. Okay? But if they are not new for you, take advantage, speaking, listening, okay? And keep your mind in touch with English, okay? So that's what you will have the advantage. But in this case, we have a very easy topic that is the past, simple past, but specifically of verb to be. Okay, remember that we have the verb to be past is similar to the verb to be in present. That the original verb is be, right? When it is not conjugated, is be, right? And it has two meanings that are ser, two meanings, right? And that they have in present, just to make the connection and the review, it has three forms. I'm gonna make this review because some of you told me, teacher, a mí algunas cosas se me fueron porque me salté un poquito, porque hace tiempo no practico, qué sé yo. So this is your opportunity, okay? Because I'm gonna explain something basic. So I hope that you pay attention and that you can manage this topic, because it's if you missed this information. Okay, so remember, be. We have three because be is special. It's not like if you would have speak, right? Or any other verb. Because if you have a speak, in the base form is hablar, right? So if you conjugate speak, you will have the same speak. I speak, speak. You speak. They speak. And in third person, she speaks. Un pequeño detalle por ahí al final. But basically it's the same. He speaks. Al final le pusimos ese ahí, Sofía, entonces no es igual. Yeah, but the beginning is the same, look. No changes. Cuando estaba sin conjugar era speak, y cuando lo conjugó sigue siendo speak. But those are all the verbs, thousands of verbs. But in the case of verb to be, it's different, right? Because if it is not conjugated, it would be ser o estar. Pero cuando ya le pongo una persona, be becomes an, are, and is. Se transforma. Y no solo en uno, sino que en tres. Because I will never say I be, we be, no, like I speak, I work. The verb, the original verb is work. So I work, you work, they work, she works. Buy, the original verb, buy. They buy, we buy, she buys. It's the same, right? Well, in the case of verb to be doesn't appear when someone is doing the action. I am. We, you, they are. He, she, it is. You see? That's why verb to be is special, because it has a transformation into three, not just one, but into three, depending on the person. You see? And that's what we have to memorize. I am, we, etc. So today the topic is in past. So it's similar. It's similar because it has a specific form. But in this case, you can notice. In present, we have three. In past, we just have two. Was and were. ¿Por qué? Porque el I se une con el singular, he, she, it. So in past, they are just two. But it's the same idea. For singular, I, he, she, it, was. For plural, we, you, they, are. Okay, so the past of am was. The past of is was. The past of are were. And is still the meaning, we still have two meanings, right? Ser y estar. Era y estaba. That is the same. It's the same. It will be the same, guys. Always two meanings. And someone can say, teacher, but if they have two meanings, how will I know when it's ser or when it's estar? We don't think about it. It's like when we don't think that it's vino de venir o vino de tomar, hoja de árbol o hoja de comprar. I mean, de papel. So we don't stop thinking about it. The context, the conversation, unconsciously, we know. Okay, our brain does the connection, so don't worry. But we always have two meanings, two verbs in one, in past. Era o estaba, right? Was and were. So that's the point today. Similar, right, to the part that you manage perfectly, that is the simple present of verb to be. So the negatives, do you remember now? Tell me, please. How did you work the negative and the interrogative of verb to be? Do you remember? How do you work or how do you express a negative sentence? First, a negative sentence using verb to be in present. What do we have to do to express a negative idea in present with verb to be?
Verb to be plus not.
That's correct. The form of verb to be that can be am, are, or is plus not. So in past, the same. The form of verb to be in past was and were plus not. It's the same idea. And the interrogative, how do we express a question? What do we have to do? In simple present, the verb to be. To do as a question, an interrogative sentence.
First verb to be, then
Correct.
subject.
That's correct, sir. First, we change the position. We do that inversion, right? First, verb to be, as Mr. Fuentes said, and then the person, the subject. So in this case, look, if you were working in present, verb to be comes here. Am I? Are we? Are you? Are they? Is she? Is he? Yeah, that's correct. We just move verb to be to the front. And then I got a question. Easy. So it's the same with past. It's the same. If you want a question in past, well, change verb to be in past to the front. Was I? Were we? Were you? Were they? Was he? Was she? Was it? So it's the same way because it doesn't need any other auxiliary. ¿Ok? No necesitaba, pero es presente, teacher, y que no era para el presente el do. Me acuerdo que vimos que el presente era el do, le poníamos do si quería pregunta en presente. Y aquí, ¿por qué no? Because verb to be is special. You see? Someone said, él no va a necesitar el do para preguntar. Él no va a necesitar. ¿Con qué preguntábamos, chicos, en pasado? ¿Qué antepongo para hacer una pregunta en pasado? Mr. Baisa. ¿Qué auxiliar, qué palabrita antepongo para indicar que estoy preguntando en pasado?
Remember.
Don't remember.
No.
Patricia, okay. Thanks for answering, Mr. Baisa. Patricia?
El verb to be.
No. Para preguntar en general.
W.
No, en pasado. To indicate. Ajá.
Remember, teacher.
Don't remember. Miss Rodríguez?
Use the auxiliary did.
That's correct. Okay. That's correct. We use the auxiliary did, guys. Y eso lo vamos a ver en la siguiente acá, de estas clases, porque es el verb to be y el did. Lo vamos a ver otra vez. Yo creo que en el nivel anterior se vio, ¿verdad, Miss Rodríguez? Yes? Okay. So, again, you see? Ahí está otra vez en el programa. So, if you don't remember, you still have the opportunity. If you remember, you can continue practicing. Okay? But what I want you to understand is the difference. Both are in present, both are in past. Simple past and simple present. ¿Ok? Entonces, ¿por qué unos usan do en presente y el verbo to be si está en presente no lo usa? ¿Y por qué usan did en pasado y este está en pasado y no usa did? O sea que cada verbo va a tener su forma de hacer una pregunta en pasado, de hacer una pregunta en presente. No. It's just verb to be. It's a special, right? ¿Y quién dijo eso? Honestamente no lo sé, pero esa es la rule, right? It's like when we learn at school, antes de P se escribe M. ¿Y quién dijo eso? No lo sabemos. ¿Y por qué decidió eso? No lo sabemos. Pero si no lo hacemos así, ¿qué pasa? Nos pueden quitar el trabajo si soy secretaria porque le escribo Mañana habrá una reunión en el campo de trabajo y mando la circular con N y cosas así todo el tiempo, probablemente me vayan a destituir como secretaria, right? Or it looks a little bit weird or fairly weird. Si yo escribo, no sé, hola, ¿cómo están? Sin H. ¿Y por qué va a ser extraño si se entiende? But those are the rules, guys. Okay, those are the rules. And we just follow. That's the way that language works. You know, the language works in that way. Que por qué, quién y de dónde, desde cuándo, we don't know, right? We don't know. So same here. Here is the same. Alguien dijo que el verbo ser o estar, el verbo be, iba a tener sus propias formas de preguntar en la forma afirmativa y en la negativa. Que el resto de los verbos van a usar ayuda. Por eso se llaman helping verbs, you know, helping verbs, porque ayudan a preguntar, ayudan a negar. So in this case, verb to be doesn't need a helping verb. El solito se basta y sobra. Okay? So I've seen that some people do that combination of do with and, or that do with are. Never, please, never. That's what I'm explaining because I've seen, not just once, I've seen some students in different courses that they do that combination. Bueno, si es presente, entonces le pongo do, le pongo does. Si es pasado, le voy a poner did a este, but no, please. Estos no necesitan, son especiales, se basta y sobran. Los cientos de verbos, los otros sí, but this no. El solito se mueve adelante, el solito toma el not, ¿ok? Is in present and is in simple past, but in this case, in simple past, it won't use the auxiliary, okay? I'm telling you because soon in the other class that we study, look, here we have verb did. This is verb to be, but in some we have here did. You see? ¿Y es en qué tiempo está, teacher? En pasado también. ¿Y entonces? Yeah, but that's what I'm explaining, ¿ok? Porque lo vamos a ver. Y lo otro también va a estar en pasado. Pero no son la acción ser o estar. Look is receive, sign, pay, call, any other. Cualquier otra sí ocupa auxiliar. But verb to be, no. ¿Ok? So in this case, the form that you will use is without auxiliary because it will be the auxiliary as in present, right? So I wasn't, was not, the contracted form wasn't, were not, the contracted form weren't. And the question, as you indicate me, some of you indicated me, was I, were you, was he, we just changed the position to have the question. Okay, so we're gonna practice doing this, okay, doing your sentences in negative, in questions, okay? But that's the point, okay? This is a special, verb to be is always a special. And remember, no reasons why. Don't try to think, but why and who? No, don't think about it. It's like when you went to school and antes de P se escribe M. Los finales de sion son CC or something like that, right? Y eso nos aprendimos y eso usamos y we don't analyze. That's the way it is. And that's it. Okay, so verb to be special. Nunca va a necesitar una ayuda, un auxiliar. Él solito, mire, toma el not y él solito se va para adelante. You see? Y cuando veamos los otros verbos que no van a ser ni ser estar, no se pueden ir ellos solitos los verbos para adelante. Van a necesitar la ayuda y es donde aparece el did, como apareció el do en presente. ¿Ok? So that's what we have. And here we have examples for you. I have examples for you. He was ill, she was happy, it was cold, you were late. You see, we were angry, they were at home. Just using the verb to be. And why is simple? What we call simple past, Miss Rodriguez? What do we call simple past?
I don't know, teacher.
You don't know?
No.
You will see that you know, okay? You will see soon. Ah, yes, it's true. Okay, Mr. Fuentes? Do you know? Do you remember? Is Mr. Fuentes around? Let me see.
I don't remember.
You don't neither, okay. It's simple, guys. It's simple past because you just have one verb. Verb to be is alone. Was. Can you see one more verb? No, right? So when you have another verb, it's not anymore a simple tense. Maybe present continuous, past continuous, past perfect continuous, I don't know. So we call the tenses simple because it's just one verb. For example, verb to be in present was is, and are. I am happy to be, no, I am happy, yeah, to be because it's just one. Ese era como adicional. Or I am happy with this present. I am at home. She is my friend. She is 20 years old. He is the new boss. In those examples, you can listen just one verb, is, and, are. But if I said, she is working, ¿será ese simple? All right, because we have another verb that is work modificado, but it's another verb. And make no sense if we separate them. Si ya lo separo y le quito uno aparte al otro, ya se oye extraño. Ella trabajando. No, necesita el verb to be to make sense. So they are two together. The both are together to make sense. So that's why we call a simple past or simple present tense, because we have just one verb. When you have another verb with different changes, right? The second verb can be modified. But the point is that there is another verb. So that's when we don't have a simple present or simple past. Maybe to speak is not good, but in your case, maybe someday you will need a test, right? And if a proficiency test. No, I don't know, maybe to go to work in another country, maybe to have a scholarship, or I don't know. Maybe you want to do a proficiency test. Y ahí sí lo pueden reconocer, because this is Inglés para el trabajo, so it's a little bit more complex, right? So it's good that we recognize that. Okay, so that's what we have, simple past. So no more verbs, just one verb. And I say that because when I ask, okay, let's work, let's go into practice. Y siempre me mencionan al simple past, what we are studying in this moment. So in your examples, just one verb, just was or were. Okay. Okay, we're gonna do this and then you're gonna tell me your own examples. Okay, that's the topic in your book. I already explained this, right? It was a great experience. Just one verb, look, a great experience, no verbs. The agent was very helpful. The agent was, no more verbs. You were on our page, one verb. We were excited. Ah, teacher, ese que no es verbo. No, in this case, this is an adverb. Okay, it's an adverb. Porque está diciendo cómo estabas, cuál era tu estado, emocionada, emocionado. Okay, so don't get confused. So we were excited about service. So we have past of be, was and were. And we already remember why was and why were. On the other hand, we have the simple past of the rest of verbs. Okay, in this case, are regular and irregular. So gave, called, worked, and bought. Okay, so we're gonna stop here for a while because tomorrow we're gonna practice today just verb to be. And tomorrow I'm gonna add the rest of verbs because the rest of verbs are different. Ahí sí voy a ocupar el did. Si quiero preguntar, si quiero negar. Porque ya no es verb to be, pero siempre son pasados todos. But the difference is because I told you, right? Someone said this verb will be different. This verb will work different. Y así fue. Who knows who, right? ¿Quién sabe quién? Pero eso no importa. Tomorrow we're going to work on that. So for today, let's do an exercise. I hope that is clear. So can you tell me, please, one sentence. Try to be of your real life. Okay? I was, I wasn't. We're going to practice all. Affirmative, but just with was and were. So just the verb to be. So you have to understand, right, what you are going to say. It has to be the action ser o estar. Okay? So, but in past, of course, because that's what we are working today. So think in one sentence, two sentences. One in first person, so it's you, I, and other with someone else, with you, with she, I don't know. But two sentences using verb to be in past. Okay? Give me the first, and then I'm gonna ask you based on your sentence. Okay? So write it in the chat, please. Write your sentences in the chat. Please try that they are true, real. Try, but if it's not possible, invent. No problem. Okay, I'm gonna mention your names. If I don't mention your names, let me know, please, because I'm trying to check the attendance. Okay, Patricia Carolina Amaya, Katia Marcela, Basti Miranda, Guillermo Baiza, Edgardo Fuentes y Dagoberto Jerez. If I didn't mention your name, tell me. Okay, we have some. I was at home all the weekend. Okay. I was. Okay, remember what I said, Miss Miranda. I don't know if you were able in that moment, but I was explaining that we are working with simple past. And in simple past, how many verbs do we have in simple past?
One.
And how many verbs did you use?
Two.
Two, correct. And make no sense. And it's not correct, right? Because it's not simple past, but anyway, it's not correct, Miss. I guess maybe I was riding. It's not read, it's riding a bike. But as I said, in that case would be past continuous. Y nos expresa otra cosa. Algo que estábamos haciendo en el momento que otra cosa pasó. Ok, pero ahí no me voy a meter cuándo usar eso porque ahorita no es el tema. But just for you to compare, because it's very common that people do that. That's what I explained. So please, try to be alert, okay? That makes sense. That makes sense. So maybe you can change and send a new one. I was in traffic. Well, is that a sentence or what? or an information, Dagoberto? Okay, so but I don't know if it was right, something that you are sending the sentence or you are telling me. Okay. Nobody else? Mr. Fuentes, Mr. Baiza, Patricia? No sentences? Okay, I'm gonna wait a couple of minutes more. Maybe you will participate. One more minute. Waiting for your answers. Okay, maybe nobody else, right? So, Ms. Rodriguez, can you tell me your sentence in the negative form? In the contracted negative form?
I wasn't at home all the weekend.
Okay. Can you, let's imagine that I send that idea. Can you do the question for me? I said I was or I wasn't at home all the weekend. So can you do me a question, please? Do a question for me based on that information with the same idea. If I said, well, I was at home all the weekend, what would be the question?
Were you at home all the weekend?
Correct. Were you? Were you? Because it's at the beginning, it's a question, is you, I need where, and it's a question, is at the beginning. Were you at home? on weekends or the whole weekend or all the weekend? That's correct. Okay. Okay, well, I got two more. I was at the supermarket on Sunday. My granddaughter was okay. It's correct. My granddaughter, I guess, was comparing in Nicaragua. Remember that in that case, it would be past continuous, Miss Amaya. Okay? Because you are using two verbs. You see, that's why I explained at the beginning, because I know it happens all the time. It happens all the time that people is using verb to be simple past, set the topic, and some people get confused or is not alert, okay, don't recognize the simple past because people add another verb and was comparing is another verb, is a second verb, so you are using two verbs. The sentence is correct, but it's good to make the difference, right? De un tiempo y del otro, cuando es simple. Y más que nada porque estamos trabajando simple past, says the topic in your unit. Okay, so maybe my granddaughter was in a contest yesterday in Nicaragua.
Repeat, teacher.
Can be, if you want to keep the idea, but in simple past,
Yes.
my granddaughter was in a contest or in a competition, depende del tipo de I forgot it. The práctica? No, it's not, that's not the word. Well, depending on the type of contest, of competition, the prueba, right? Or the, oh my goodness, se me bloqueó esa palabra. Can you help me, please? ¿Cómo sería? De competencia, yeah. Un tipo, depende del tipo de competencia, yeah, maybe it's the same, right? Depende del tipo de competencia. Si es más intelectual, maybe contest. Si es más física,
His sport.
so it can be a competition, right? Or yeah, competition. So my granddaughter was in a competition in Nicaragua yesterday, or last week, I don't know. My granddaughter was in a competition in Nicaragua. So there you are using simple past because you are using one verb.
Okay.
Y la idea es expresar algo que ya pasó, ya quedó ahí, ya pasó. En cambio, si yo le pongo was competing, es como que, ajá, estaba compitiendo cuando tembló. O sea, es como cuando una cosa pasa, cuando la otra pasa. O estaba compitiendo. I know that in Spanish we use that way, but in English it's more when two things happen at the same time. ¿Ok? Es más que nada eso, cuando una cosa pasó y la otra también, al mismo tiempo. Was in a contest or was competing when, let's say, she received a call. ¿Ok? Estaba justo compitiendo cuando alguien la llamó. O estaba compitiendo cuando tembló en Nicaragua. Estaba compitiendo cuando tal cosa. Es más en ese sentido un present continuous. Un past continuous. En cambio ahorita usted solo me dice estaba en una competencia la semana pasada. O ayer estaba en una competencia en Nicaragua y eso es todo. Es que estaba ahí y ahí murió la situación. Ya pasó. Okay? So we have a difference, we have a difference. Let's see something else. I was with my friends last week. It's not necessarily the last. in Spanish? I mean, in English. I was with my friends last week. Okay. I was a taxi driver, I guess. I was a, remember, guys, that when we talk about jobs or professions in English, we always use a or an. I am an engineer. I am a doctor. I am a secretary. I am a janitor. I am a taxi driver. I am a bus driver. A. I am an architect. So in English, always before the job position or the occupation, use a or an, right? An, engineer, and architect. Okay, but it's okay. I was a taxi driver. Okay. She was alone with her dog in the park. Okay, very good. That's a good one. Okay, so please, Mr. Fuentes, can you do the negative your sentence, please?
Okay. The first, I was not with my friends last week.
Okay, and in a contracted form, can you use the contracted form?
Yes, I wasn't with my friends the last week.
Okay, so can you do a question for me?
Was I with my friends last week?
Okay, it's correct, but imagine that you are doing that question for me. Do me that question. No, was
Okay.
I? Mm-hmm.
Okay. And were you with your friends last week?
That's correct. Okay, thanks, mister. Miss Patricia, do Mr. Fuentes, because he has two, right? And both are correct, and he changed without problem into past, a negative, and into question. So I will use the second that is yours, Mr. Fuentes, okay? For Miss Amaya, okay? With your permission. Okay, so Miss Amaya, do Mr. Fuentes' sentence in negative, please. The second.
She wasn't alone with her dog in the park.
That's correct. Can you do a question for me?
In negative or in past simple.
Simple past question.
Was I taxi drive?
No. Mr. Fuentes. You say she wasn't alone with her dog in the park. Perfect. Now the same, do the same negative, I mean, a question.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't she lying along with her dog in the park?
Okay, was she? Yeah, of course, we can do in negative, no problem. Wasn't she or was she? But do that question for me, ask me.
So, were you along with her?
Change. You are talking about me. Were you alone? Perfect. But her, no.
No, were you along with your dog in the park?
Excellent. You see, we need to change, right? We need to have that concordance. Ya no estoy hablando de ella, no me digas her. Si ya no hablo de él, no digan your, chicos. Okay? Excellent, Miss Amaya. That's correct. Okay, so were you along with your dog in the park? Good. You see, I think no questions, right? Okay, Mr. Baisa, can you do a negative sentence of your question? I mean, of your sentence? I was a taxi driver. Can you do that your sentence negative, please?
Repeat, please, repeat.
Sure. Your sentence is, I was a taxi driver, correct?
Yeah.
That's your sentence. So do that sentences that sentence because it's just one in negative.
I wasn't taxi driver.
A taxi driver. I wasn't a taxi driver. Okay? And now do a question for me. Ask me that question.
You was taxi driver.
For me. So it's
Yeah.
you.
For you. For you was taxi driver.
No, you need to change.
What?
No, don't use anymore I was because the question is not for you, right? Si usted me dice, was I a taxi driver? Es como que usted solito se está preguntando. It exists, it's okay. But now I want you to ask me. Entonces, si me va a preguntar, va a usar tú. Y si va a usar tú, ¿qué más va a cambiar, Mr. Baisa? ¿Va a seguir usando was? Si usa you.
No.
No, si usted usa you, ya no tiene que usar was, tiene que usar where.
You were.
Ajá.
Okay.
Ok. Y
you
como
were
es una
taxi.
question, no, y como, eso es lo primero. Y como es una question, ¿qué más va a cambiar? The position, right?
You were.
Where are you?
Were you taxi driver?
A taxi driver.
And taxi driver.
Don't forget. Before the professions, a taxi driver, an engineer, a secretary, a doctor, okay? Always, before the professions, use a o an, if it is. Si la que viene es una vocal, ustedes ponen an architect, an engineer, pero siempre usamos eso en inglés. In Spanish, no, but in English, yes, it's different, okay? No lo hagamos español, al estilo español, porque no es igual. En español no se necesita decir soy una maestra, soy una maestra, soy un ingeniero, soy un doctor. It's not necessary, soy doctor, soy secretaria en esa compañía. But in English, it's different, okay? We always need to use it. Okay, that's it. Okay, that's it. Veo que no mandó ninguna otra, Basti. No mandó, ¿verdad? Ok, bueno, entonces, ni Mr. Dagoberto tampoco. No les puedo pedir que me la cambien porque no me la mandaron. Ok, well, let's continue. You see, I don't know if you have any question. Those are the keys that you have to remember. And remember that we are with verb to be in past, just this verb. Okay, just this verb. Solo este verbo. Los demás ya no. Van a funcionar igual. ¿Ok? Van a ser diferentes. ¿Ok? So, sí. Okay, we have here something related with the last minutes. We're gonna start working with the extra material, okay? So we have here. Some jobs, right? Some jobs. So remember the question. This is just to remember, what do you do? When you want to talk about a job position or an occupation, this is the word. This is the expression. I mean, what do you do? Okay? Because sometimes if I am beginners 2 or 3 or 4, I ask my students when we are introducing, right, people. So I ask, hi, hello, how are you doing? Okay, and how old are you? Basic questions. Where do you live? And what do you do? And some beginners said, I am eating teacher, or I don't know, right? Or I don't know, anything else. But the question is not ¿qué haces literal? ¿Qué haces en el sentido de tus actividades? In English is more specific. Si quieres saber lo que está haciendo, usamos el present continuous. What are you doing? Okay. So if you listen this question, what do you do in the office? When someone is knowing you, remember, no es que está haciendo, es a qué se dedica. Okay. What do you do? So the answer is, I am a student. Because it's an occupation, right? Not just a profession. I am a, like we have here, right? Babysitter, fitness instructor, office assistant, sales associate, social media assistant, and tutor, between other professions. So those are the answers. Okay? What do you do? So when someone says, what do you do? Don't say, I am in English class. Or I'm still working. I am in traffic. No. Okay? What do you do is your profession, your occupation. Okay? What do you do? So, when someone asks you this, maybe a teacher, a classmate, on real life, don't answer things that you are doing. No, it's your profession. Okay? So we have here we have some other professions. Maybe they are not new for you, right? Babysitter, fitness instructor, no instructor, right? Fitness instructor, office assistant, sales associate, social media assistant, and tutor. Okay? That's some of the jobs, part-time. It says part-time jobs. Because remember that it's per hour, right? Some of these professions are per hour. It's not full-time job, part-time job. It means hours, just in the morning, just at night, just in the afternoon, or maybe 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon, and so on, right? 2 hours at night. That is a part-time job. So tell me, do you think part-time jobs are good? What are the advantages and the disadvantages? What's your opinion about part-time job? Would you like to have different part-time jobs? What are the advantages? Or maybe you think no advantage. Tell me, please, your opinion. I need you to speak.
Many young people do that to can pay their student, their study.
Okay. So the advantage, I infer the advantage, but can you tell me why? Why do they do that? Why do you think that they do that? Because it's obvious, almost, but I want you to speak, okay? So tell me, why do they do that?
Maybe their parents can pay the study.
Okay, maybe their parents can pay, can afford, can pay, guys. Another way to say can't pay, can't afford. Okay, is when you are not able to pay something. Okay. I not afford. Okay, I can pay it. Okay, they can pay, or they have the opportunity to do both activities, right, Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
They have the opportunity to. Can you tell me that, please? You? The same, but in your words.
Okay, maybe they are study a career and they can work in the same at half time.
Okay, because of the career, they need time to attend classes and they need time to make money, right? So a part-time job, it's perfect because they can do both activities. Okay, that's correct. Thanks, Miss Rodriguez. Anybody else? Any other opinion, comment? Anything, okay? Anything. I won't say a specific question. Díganme lo que quieran, chicos. Tal vez así me participan. Ya no les voy a preguntar algo específico. Just about the topic. Whatever you want. Opinion, a comment about these part-time jobs, advantages, disadvantages. It's good because you are paid, the payment is per hour. So maybe it's more, right? 2 hours here, 2 hours there. And you are not in the same place. So if you lose one job, you have the other two. Are advantages, maybe, I think. Okay, but I wanted your opinion, guys, your opinion. Okay, and have you ever had a babysitter, or have your family ever have a babysitter? Do you trust babysitters? Or you don't trust babysitters? Do you trust babysitters or don't you try? Yes, tell me.
Don't trust babysitter.
You don't trust babysitter. Okay. Yeah. It's true, right? It's difficult. Sometimes. Anybody else? Would you leave your children with a babysitter, Patricia?
No, teacher. I
wouldn't.
social media assistant.
Excuse me?
Babysitter, no.
No babysitter.
No. I
Okay.
like social media assistant.
You have?
No, I like.
You like? No. If you would leave your children with a babysitter, if you trust, si confía en babysitters.
No, teacher.
No, neither. Neither. Okay. That it was the next question, Patricia, okay? Which of those? But it's almost time, guys. So think about it, please. Maybe if you think about it, you will speak and you will participate tomorrow. Try to speak, my dear people, okay? So choose one for tomorrow. Choose one job and tell me which of these jobs would you like to do, to practice. Or maybe not this. It's not, if the job that you would like, that you would love is not here, no problem. You can add it. It's short, right? Es algo cortito, chicos. No tiene que ser una gran cosa, para poquito a poco. Hablen. Okay, so please think about it. La vez pasada, la última tareita, no para classroom, right? Solo para la clase, participation. No me la hicieron. So think, please. Escojan uno. And I'm going to say this in Spanish. Voy a decir en español para no confundir a nadie. No es tarea de classroom. Lo de classroom ya está ahí hecho. Esto solo es para que usted participe en clase, hable un poquito más, practique el idioma. ¿Ok? Entonces, try to do it. Solo elija una de estas, ¿cuál le gustaría? Si es cortito. O si no está aquí lo que a usted le gustaría, agréguelo, no problem. Y me dice, ¿le gustaría? ¿Por qué? ¿Qué le ve de bueno a esa profesión? ¿Ok? That's it. Eso es todo. Espero que mañana sí participen. ¿Ok? Un ratito, hablar un ratito, chicos, poco a poco. Nos ayuda mucho. ¿Ok? So, hope to see you tomorrow.
teacher.
Was a pleasure.
Bye.
Good
See
night.
you tomorrow.
Bye.
See you
Teacher.
tomorrow.
Bye. Take
Have a
care.
nice night.
Bye.
You too. You too.
Bye.
Have a nice night.
You too.
Thanks.